So, hey guys. So, I'm gonna get into this story. I'm doing like a bit of a mukbang. I am Filipino. I made some big ass lumpia. Lumpia. So I'm about to eat real quick before I get into my Midwives Brew story. Did it work? It sure did. So hot. That noise is my dryer. I mean washing machine. I need to wash my kids' clothes. So, let's get into it. I'm gonna be eating and talking. So, consider this a mukbang, I guess. Anyway, so I was going over videos that I had already made. Like, that's one of the videos when I was in the hospital. And I was just trying to see like what I wanted to post. But honestly, the videos in the hospital was just like my labor, pretty much. And it was pretty much like what was going on while I was in labor. It wasn't necessarily anything to do with the Midwives Brew, but about the Midwives Brew. So I took the Midwives Brew that night. That was like a Tuesday night. I remember dropping my kids off. Once I dropped dropping my youngest son off to his dad's. I was at his dad's house and I started contracting. The contractions were bearable. I remember that morning I had went to so if you look in the last video, that morning I had ended up going to my doctor appointment, and my doctor was saying that I was not dilated, but I was determined to get her out because it was just too much stress. I'm like a single mom. I went through this pregnancy by myself again. And I just could not do it with the two kids and the baby. I mean, me being pregnant, it was just too much. Like, I was just getting overly overwhelmed and exhausted, and I just was like, this gotta be the day. So that day was September 25th. My due date wasn't until October 7th, October 10th. So I already knew I was gonna have her early. I had both of my kids, both of my boys, 2 weeks early. So anyway, I take the Midwives Brew that Tuesday night. That was the 25th. I end up getting contractions that night, but I stayed at my son's dad's house because I'm just like, you know, like in this pain, but it's kind of like on and off. So I really wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna go to the hospital. I was just there because I'm like, okay, I knew I took this drink. Let me see if it escalates, you know. So I ended up laying down, and then it woke me up at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. and they just was sharp, and then they kept coming back to back. So I'm just like, oh crap, this is it. It worked. Like, that's all I'm thinking in my head is it worked. But at the same time, I'm in pain. Like, oh my God, this hurts. So I may insert some videos in this video. I'm not sure yet. Just depends on what goes with what. But I may show y'all some stuff of me at the hospital. But anyway, so I'm just like, dang, okay, it worked. Cool. So I get my oldest son. We head to the hospital. I get there. They put me on the monitors, of course, give me the IV, everything, whatever. After that, they were like, they checked me and they were like, you are not dilated. Or I dilated 1 centimeter. And so they were like, but we're going to admit you because the baby's oxygen levels were low. So that was a little concerning. I was a little scared because I'm just like, damn, I'm sitting here forcing her ass to come out, and here I am, you know, being selfish and trying to force her to come out, and nothing's happening. I mean, and not nothing's happening, but here I am trying to force her to come out, and yeah, nothing's happening with me, but more so my daughter's health is on the line at this point. So that was Wednesday morning that I was in the hospital. So I probably got admitted around 3 a.m. Wednesday morning. So now at this point, since the brew did work, it worked as far as me contracting. Like, I contracted the entire time, but I was not dilating. So they put me on Pitocin. The Pitocin did not push my dilation. It did not, nothing was moving. Nothing was happening. They just had me on Pitocin. The only thing I was having was contractions, but I was still at 1 centimeter every time they checked me. So it's this thing called Cervidil. It's like a string, like a tampon string that they put up, and they make sure they put it, like, they shove it all the way up you, and it's like they put it at the wall, like the wall of your cervix. And they're supposed to soften up the cervix so that the baby can start moving down, as well as your cervix can start, you know, opening, and your contractions can really start opening your cervix up. They do that. It has to stay in for 12 hours. After the 12th hour, they took it out. Then they gave me Pitocin to jumpstart the labor all over again. Nothing. So my doctor came in and he's like, okay, we're going to have to stop this Pitocin. Give her another Cervidil. So I get another Cervidil. Mind you, all this hurts, okay? This hurts. At this point, my vagina is going to fall out. Like, this pain was worse than the delivery. I'm not gonna lie. It was worse than the contractions. It was just them keep going in and out, in and out. It was just like, it was, oh my God. It was like a revolving door. My vagina was. It was like a revolving door. Like, they were in and out of there. Like, I was like, why did I do this to myself? Why did I do this to myself? But anyway, so, so they give me another Cervidil. And at this point, I think I'm probably 8 hours in. This is now, it now is Thursday, September 26th. And they're like, yeah, well, we're just, you know, let me check. The new nurse, she comes in, she's like, let me just check you and see. Because I'm like, I'm having pressure and I'm contracting. I'm like, so, you know, what's going on? She was like, well, I'm going to check the Cervidil, and because they were going to take the Cervidil out after 12 hours and then put me on Pitocin again. So she was like, let me check, you know, your cervix, and I'll let you know if I could pull it out, because they were saying that it didn't have to stay in for the full 12 hours, but if it needed to, you know, it was going to have to. But she was like, sometimes people start contracting on their own right after that, and the cervix starts to open up after that or whatever. So it's probably like 10 o'clock at night, and she checks me and she's like, oh yeah, you're like 5 centimeters. So I'm like, okay, ooh, this is a go. We in there, let's get it. So she takes the Cervidil out. That hurt like shit. She takes that out, and then after she takes it out, she's like, you want to go to the bathroom before, you know, everything start happening? I'm like, yeah. So I go use the bathroom. From the time that she took that Cervidil out to the time that I sat up, went in the bathroom to pee, came back out, sat back down, the contractions started more and more. I mean, they were like so fast. I started calling my family like, okay, I think I'm finna have her right now. Like, y'all need to come. When I mean, I was in there like, what? Give me an epidural. Where's the lady with the epidural? Where's the... I'm like, and then I stopped because the contraction will stop. So I'm like, looking stupid. And then another one. Like, those pains were deadly. They hurt like shit. Like, those pains were so bad, like so bad. And I think at this point I was probably still 5 centimeters. But I was not, look, any kid that I have, I've never done natural labor. I never planned on having it. I'm not good. It don't, pain and I don't get along. Now, if it's like a tattoo or something or a piercing, then okay, I can handle that. But anything that has to do with your insides about to fall out, that is not me. I can't do that, okay? I can't handle that. So, anyway, my family start coming. They give me the epidural. Actually, while I'm screaming the whole time, the lady was behind me. So the lady's like, I'm like, where is she at? She's like, she's right there. I'm like, let's get this on the roll because this hurts. So after that, I ended up getting the epidural. My family's there. So they're like, they check me again. They're like, okay, you 9. Let's go. And I'm like, wait. So we looking at the time. It's like 11 something. I'm like, can we wait till 12 o'clock? Like, I don't know. I don't want her to be born on the 26th. I want her to be born on the 27th because I think I have a family member that's birthday's on the 26th. I do. My aunt and my little cousins. And I didn't want everybody to have the same birthday. Like, we already got 25, September 25th, September 26th, September 27th, September 28th. So I'm like, can we wait till 12 o'clock? So it's like 11 something. I'm like 11:50 something. I'm pushing at this point. But then, no, I wasn't pushing at that point. I was pushing it by 12 o'clock. So by when 12 o'clock got there, I started pushing. I had her at 12:09 a.m. Friday morning, September 27th. And from there, it was all glitz and glam. I'm just playing. From there, she was having breathing problems. Because mind you, when she was in the womb, her oxygen levels were already low. So, oh yeah, I forgot to say this. They were thinking about giving me an emergency C-section. But they were trying to, like, just keep me hydrated the whole time. So, anyway, after I had her, they did the skin to skin. We couldn't do the golden hour because they had to take her. It wasn't the NICU. It's like the step before the NICU. Like where the baby only has to be there for like a couple hours or something. I forget what it's called. But neither one of my kids ever, neither one of my boys ever had to go to that. So I don't remember what it's called. But anyway, she was in there for a minute. So anyway, they wrapped me up and placed me into my other room. And then after I got to the other room, I went to go see her. And then I fed her. And then I went to go to sleep. And then they brought her probably about an hour later after I left. I went to go take a nap and they brought her in the room and everything was good from there. So my suggestion to anybody who wants to try the Midwives Brew, this was my experience. I cannot speak for nobody else. I've seen a lot of videos where people have taken the brew, have taken walks, and actually has had a successful labor and delivery. Mine was successful. However, I was in the hospital. I took the brew Tuesday. I had my baby on Friday, so I didn't get out the hospital until that Sunday. So I was literally there almost a full week. But I would suggest the Midwives Brew for you if you have already dilated. Me, I was nowhere near dilated. Like I said, I went to the doctor that morning and he said I was not dilated. When I got to the hospital, after I took the brew and did that walk, if you can, you see it on the last video. After I took that brew, I'm sorry, my train of thought be all over the place. After I took the brew, they checked me at the hospital. I was a centimeter dilated, but I still was not ready. Even the next day, after they gave me the Cervidil, I still was a centimeter dilated. Like there was no progression until after they gave me the second Cervidil. So I just if you're gonna take it, I suggest that you already be dilated. I was not dilated. I was being hard-headed. It's not worth the risk of, you know, you losing your child. So I just say it worked though. That's all I can say. It worked. It jump started these contractions, but these contractions weren't shit. They was not trying to do anything when it came to like opening my cervix. I was just contracting for real. So that's it. That's my story. Like I said, I may insert some video in it, but really the video in my phone is kind of what I just explained anyway, so I may not do it. But it was a good labor and delivery. She's a beautiful girl. I'm gonna show her on the next video. Right now it is January 9th. Is it January 9th or the 10th? Oh, fuck, what day is it? I see, this is why I need a job, because I don't even know what day it is. The 10th, Friday, January 10th. And she's over there sleeping in her little car seat stroller thing that I got her, and or that she has, and you know, everything's good. She's a healthy baby. She is now 3 months. She'll be 4 months at the end of this month. And she's the sweetest baby. She's so loving. She's so happy. She's so chunky. And I just love her with all my heart. So I'm going to show y'all her on the next video. Y'all, please subscribe. I'm sorry that this video was late, but I had to move. I had just a bunch of stuff just going on with my life. But I want to be consistent in 2020. And I promise I'm going to be consistent in 2020. Especially with my new life and my new baby. And just things are great. God is a blessing. God is amazing. God is awesome. God is just the love of my life. I love God. Jesus is everything. Remember that. But anyway, y'all stay blessed. Hello.